Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. So pour a cup of coffee and join us. Gather around the coffee table for this episode of Final Guys. Fellas, how's it going?
It's great. I love a good coffee table show.
I'm very excited to talk about the feel-good movie of the year so far.
Tinglies.
We've got Unbreakable, Hunter Shea. Fumbleitis. Rant. Off ski.
Yeah, still fighting some form of plague. There's rats around in here, biting me at night, biting my toes, keeping me sick.
Telling you, it's an advanced form of scabies.
And like Joe DiMaggio, I'm your host, Mr. Coffee.
I wonder how much money he made off that gig, Mr. Coffee.
A lot.
I hope he did. He's Joe. Look who's in the chat.
Oh,
Look at
Tim
this
Meyer.
shit. Who the hell's that?
I guess that's what happens when I spend 4 hours sitting next to him on a beautiful Saturday.
give us a quick recap of your weekend, Hunter.
Spent Saturday with Tim doing a book signing at Barnes & Noble in Easton, Pennsylvania, or otherwise known as Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That was awesome. Got to see Tim's short movie that he shot.
Oh,
It's killer. And then I spent time with Sober and Silly, who pops in the chat every now and then, and my soul has left my body.
Did Tim bring wormwood?
No, so the bookstore brought in books. They did not. Didn't really have much of a choice. Brought like a couple of books. So it was a horror. There were us and 4 other horror authors for a horror extravaganza on a Memorial Day weekend.
I haven't seen Tim in a long time. Every time he's supposed to be on here, I'm supposed to see him somewhere. He cancels and no shows. It's starting to think I might have a body odor problem or something.
This might be my 4th book signing in a row with him and I sharing a table, or at least close by. So it was fun.
excellent. Well, hello, Tim. Anything else to report before we get going?
No, I don't think so.
Any new plaques from any websites or anything?
Just
No.
some teeth.
It'll be like 10 years till I get another one.
No gold records?
I will be at the Cryptid and Paranormal Con around Sayreville, New Jersey, the birthplace of Bon Jovi, Saturday, June 1st. Tim is on the poster. I don't know if he's going to be there,
Jesus.
but I'll be there.
Are you going to be an exhibit?
I might be. There's some like big time, like famous squatchers who will be there, and I'll be selling merch and books. So
There are famous squatchers.
very famous, yes.
Very
Outside
famous.
of the very famous in the Squatch world. Ron Moorhead.
12 followers on TikTok.
You ever hear the Sierra sounds? Those Bigfoot sounds captured in the 70s? That guy, he'll be there.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have to
You're
be
a
deep into it to know.
You know, it makes me wonder, when you go that far back, it makes me wonder if at some point that guy was like, but it became way too late in the game. Or if he was like, you know what? The more I think of it, I think it was that guy with the chainsaw that was like 2 cabins down that night. But
Well, by the way,
it's too far gone now.
if you ever want to like kind of creep yourself out, because it's an amazing like soundtrack of weird stuff in the night. So put on a pair of headphones. It's like an hour long, and just listen to this
I'll
weird
listen to some of
language
it.
grunting stuff. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. No matter what it is, if you saw it in the movie, it'd be creepy.
Or just sleep in the room next to me and you'll hear my snoring through the wall.
I'm sure. Sleep on the tracks. I can still hear him.
All right, let's get to the actual news.
No, let's get the drinking words, Jack.
Okay, the drinking words.
Damn you. Ring the bell. Yeah, okay.
My bad.
All right. Tonight's drinking words brought to us by Sheridan Bradford are, Jack, your words are Maria. I just met a girl named Maria. Hereditary, how many times have I told you to stop putting your head out that car window? Or neighbor. My words are slow, apartment, and talk. Jason's hate, this could be for anything, budget and camera. Siklupski is cut to be, and depression, which I believe is settling in.
I can't find my tail.
That's low-hanging fruit.
I just want to be. The bonus words are Spanish, glass, and baby. So there you go.
Beautiful.
All right. Go for
Now
it.
what, Jack?
Now the news.
It's the news. Yay.
I'm so looking forward to this news segment because it's going to piss so many people off. Oh,
Here
Here comes the hate.
oh, Jason, I've got something in my chamber for you. What is the definition of insanity?
This show.
The Black Christmas
repeating-
remake?
Yeah,
Chad?
repeating the same action over and over again and expecting different results.
Exactly.
I was going to say Kardashians. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Wan is producing a Monsters reboot for Universal called 1313.
Is it going to be serious?
It's a darker reimagining of the iconic series.
We don't need a dark reimagine. The purpose is it's funny.
They already did like a semi-darker reboot in 2012 with Brian Fuller's Mockingbird Lane with Jerry O'Connell and Portia de Rossi.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Eddie Izzard was Grandpa. And then you've got this, Rob Zombie was like 2 years ago.
I did not watch that.
I didn't watch it
Refused.
either.
I
That
watched
trailer looked so amateurish. I was like, I don't get it.
I watched it. Morgan and I were watching it together, like with texting each other. And then like a half hour in, he's like, I'm done.
Yeah,
It occurred to me 2 days ago when I was watching a show on HBO, who would make the perfect Herman Munster, and that's Ted Danson, 100%.
You're right. He's got the brow for it right there.
He's got the brow and the long face. Yeah, like
And
big
Larry
long
David
chin.
would be Grandpa.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be amazing. And Ted Danson does
Jesus.
comedy. It's a comedy. I'm sorry.
I don't understand how is Hollywood so broken right now that they just keep doing the same shit over and over. Like, it's wild.
Well,
This
you just
has
have
to
make
be-
sure they keep losing their money.
Universal must be just like, we've got this IP. Let's just keep throwing it at the wall.
How much money could the Munsters actually be worth in 2024? I mean,
4 Pete Rose rookie cards.
They've got some real idiots working there and that have been working there for the last probably 10, 15, 20 years.
dude, this is.
Remember when they
Wan
did that
produced-
other? Remember when they did that other Universal stuff that I don't even think they ended up making all the movies because there was such bad reception
Oh,
on
no.
the.
Well, that
Mummy
Mummy
killed
was.
that.
Yeah, the Mummy killed everything. Yeah.
But we all knew they were going to suck bad anyway.
The Wolfman reboot or whatever is coming out like later this year.
Oh,
Who
awesome.
knows?
I'm just waiting for Swamp Monster Massacre. Somebody just make it. Just make Swamp Monster Massacre.
Yeah, but what's going to happen? Like Gravitas.
The problem with
To
these
be
movies
original.
too.
I want Quentin Tarantino to make Swamp Monster Massacre.
Imagine if that's how he went out. That's how Swamp Monster Massacre for sure. It'll be set in the 70s.
Yeah, but the problem with these two is they're grabbing like the Tom Cruises and the Tom Hanks and the people that were just, instead of like somebody that's really good that can get the job done that nobody knows of, that makes this like portrayal more like different and realistic. And they're
Look.
just grabbing these big Hollywood names, thinking that
Just
that's
keep-
what's going to sell. And,
Keep throwing
oh,
garbage. We're not going to eat it. And then you're going to be broke. Have fun.
You like how Chad is kind of like the killer in the Poughkeepsie tapes, where you can't quite see his face. Whole time.
Me and Jack are going to like come out of the box later. All effed up.
He's gonna come back for me.
I cannot believe they're doing the Munsters again. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
a
of all the
darker,
movies.
a darker reimagining is ugh,
Lost
why
me there.
the point of the Munsters is not dark.
Hmm?
How many times have we said this? Go on Amazon. Go in the top 100 best-selling horror novels right now. Pick one and make that.
Just pick one.
How hard is it? Like, seriously.
But then what'll happen is they will give it to 17 script writers.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
screw the whole thing up, and then
Yeah.
Sadie, I forget her last name. They wrote that
Hartman.
book,
Andy
100,
Yeah.
101 horror books to read.
Yeah,
Like,
dig into that.
just like send that to them, like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
How much are the rights going to cost? Any one of those authors would be like, oh, couple grand, take it. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
It's all
Wormwood.
yours.
They could get a copy of Wormwood if Ken would bring one to the bookstore once in a while.
No, we got a fully written screenplay in producer's hands, but it didn't go anywhere.
But
Wild.
Monsters. Can't wait to see you
The
play
cash
the
cow that is the Munsters coming back again.
Ride that gravy chain.
The last time we were at Chiller, I was waiting for Hunter out front, and this guy in a Hawaiian shirt, I was like in his way of the door. Excuse me. Stepped away. Butch Practic from the Munsters.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
By the way, did you know Lee Merriweather played Lillian Munster? At
And
one
one of
point?
the
One of the reboots.
yeah. John Shuck played Herman in one.
Damn. Double down on my trivia right there.
How do you think these meetings go? Where it turns out Gen Z doesn't give a shit about movies. We need something to bring them in. How about the Munsters? None of them have heard of that shit. Let's give it a try.
The
Yeah.
thing that Hunter and I just proved was not the Munsters' failed attempts goes way beyond Rob Zombie and Brian Fuller. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there were attempted reboots all through our lives where we used to be like, hey, new Munsters. That doesn't really work in color. Oh, it's not really that funny, though. Like,
Terrible. Yeah.
It's like they're trying to keep the rights. Here's an idea.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about the rights to the Munsters?
Like,
Let it go.
Roger
Cold
Corman
tax
with the
write-off.
Fantastic Four.
My God, this is so crazy.
Maybe they should start getting younger members on their team. I don't know what the age range for the table there in Hollywood, but like like the kids from who did Talk to Me, those guys are like 19, 20 years old or something. Those guys are real young. And then the kid from that did the Kane Pixels, that's working with A24 right now. With
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're
wholly
giving them their
original
shot.
stuff.
Got Elijah Wood going.
Well,
He's a
Hollywood's
guy.
Yeah, Elijah Wood's got his finger on the pulse, and he's affiliated with some really good original stuff.
At this point, I would settle with somebody just who's not retarded being in charge. Like that would be a huge step in the right direction.
That's the bar.
That's where we're at in Hollywood right now. This is so. The last 5 years have been so crazy. It's like hard to wrap your head around.
They should just stop. They should just make the whole studios like a coffee house or something.
Well, one of the problems is all the gags from the original Munster series, everybody knows. Like,
Yeah.
do it. They rarely come up with any new gags that you're like, oh, what a fresh take on Universal Monsters. You're like, oh, what a rehash, and not quite as done as well as
I mean, how old is that show? Honestly, when was that? The
That
Mid
was in the,
60s?
60s?
60s? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
could
'cause-
remake it shot for shot right now in color, and it just wouldn't work. Like the humor, like nothing. There is no reason to be doing this. Okay,
Gus
Jesus.
Van Sant shot by shot remakes.
Oh my gosh.
in color. Vince Vaughn as Herman, Viggo
Herman.
Mortensen as Grandpa.
Herman.
Oh my God.
Let's move on. Now we're sick. We're nauseous.
Okay.
Jack. We're done.
Damn
Get
you.
ready? Get ready.
Oh boy.
My Bloody Valentine franchise is being brought back to life by Blumhouse.
Yeah, I just saw that in the chat. That is, I'm calling it right now. It's going to be horrendous. And
Yeah,
it was
I
just
mean-
remade a decade ago, which it wasn't that bad of a movie.
It's funny when you watch it right after the original, you realize how bad it is. I thought it was good when I watched it, and then I watched them both at the same time. Like, oh no, this sucks.
I don't have as big a problem with this because I feel like horror insiders yeah, everybody's seen it, but there's I think a lot of people who have not seen that movie, and it might be one worth taking a shot at. The problem is they're going to make it like that disposable mainstream, like Tarot that just came out.
That's already
they're
on
not going to.
streaming.
Yeah, and it got crushed by the reviews. Like they're going to do that level and not like a Talk to Me with it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no.
Well,
By the way, I like Hans just call it Blumpkin House.
look at it like this too. There's a pattern here too, and I'm curious to see if they stick with it. You had Black Christmas, one of the greatest horror movies ever made, in my opinion, and then they had a remake that I haven't seen, but I heard isn't horrible. It's nowhere near the original. And then you've got the Blumhouse remake, which is
Genius.
Nobody on the planet likes. One of the worst movies ever made. Now they're doing the same thing. You take it a cult classic that's already been remade within the last decade or something like that. It wasn't too bad, and now they're gonna.
Maybe they can Invisible Man it. They don't always get it wrong.
It's not like it's some crazy story that you're not going to be able to replicate. You know what I mean? Like,
I knew this was going to piss everybody off.
this is a generic slasher film. Why does this need remade? Like, who are the fans of My Bloody Valentine who are like dying to see a modern take?
It's funny. Last year, I saw a fan-made My Bloody Valentine movie here when we were here, and it wasn't bad. It was an hour and a half long, and it wasn't bad. It was boring, but when they got to the mine, it looked just like the original. That's like
I would rather see. Remember, we were talking about Corman, and part of Corman's thing was sometimes he'd give somebody a title and a poster, or just a title, and say, "Make a movie." So, what if he took 3 hot horror directors, up and comers, and said, "My Bloody Valentine," and let's say it's us in this room, and one of us makes a slasher, and one of us makes a vampire movie, and one of us makes a cult movie. You know what I mean? Like, and we all come back. How cool would that be? Instead of just, how about a guy in a mine again?
Well, the problem with Blumhouse doing this kind of thing isn't that they're taking a movie that they're like, this has a great story, but it doesn't hold up. Like, if they wanted to take if somebody wanted to remake Phantasm, I would watch it because it has so much going for it that no other movie has. It won't touch the original for me, I'm sure, but the problem with Blumhouse remaking stuff is they're not trying to make it better. They're trying to take modern day ideologies and shoehorn them into screenplays, and it has nothing to do with it. It's all about modernizing and shoehorning all of this agendas and ideology, just like they did with Black Christmas and a handful of other ones.
Just show the boobs, show the blood, show the monster. Let's go.
No, they're not going to do that.
No more boobs.
They have someone that's written a screenplay that
show
says everything they're trying to say.
The last piece of news should be fun, but this one is gift wrapped for Mr. Brandt.
Why do I feel so targeted today?
He's targeted. He's triggered.
The news usually pisses you off, so this is really just kind of calling attention to it. But this one really, I mean, it's obvious once I say it. Guess what's coming to a TV near you sometime soon? Dexter Original Sin. That's right. We're getting a prequel series about young Dexter and how he became Dexter.
Oh my God.
Which we got in the Dexter series already.
Yes. And Christian Slater is going to play Dexter's father.
I was going to say he can't play Dexter.
Yeah, so Chad, you're entirely right. They already did that in the show. Number 2, I wonder if he lives like everybody, him and his sister.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
What the hell?
Just wow.
Why? Who gives a shit about Dexter anymore? Like,
they also ended the show. Dexter had a son.
Yeah,
that's right.
Up with Dexter Jr.
Oh my God.
Make him.
I didn't even finish Dexter.
Me either.
It was circling the drain, and I bailed.
Well, I finished it, but I didn't watch the other like
I watched the reboot,
thing.
whatever they.
I started and I just could not get into it.
Well, here's the deal. You can continue that. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll
Could've
do a
done it.
crossover. Dexter meets the monster.
If we don't like these ideas, we need to stop forking over the money for them, or even the stream time for them.
Well,
Oh,
we
I won't be watching
these.
that shit.
Vote for the wallets, people.
There could be
Jason
nothing
Ramirez
like
has
that.
it exactly right. They overvalue name recognition. Nobody gives a shit about these projects. Nobody
But
cares.
it's Dexter.
Yeah,
Dexter.
we got to mine that IP. Like, nobody even gives a shit about Star Wars anymore. That's how much they screwed all this up. Like, Star Wars, no one gives a shit. Nobody cares about Dexter. The Munsters. Who said the Munsters was only on for 2 seasons? The original show?
Oh yeah, that was it.
It wasn't even a huge hit back then.
The Monsters is
No.
like a lot of the shows back then. When we were kids, they showed it in syndication, and so we watched the same episodes. You got home from school. The Monsters was one of those shows you watched, became part of our lexicon.
Yep.
And that Star Trek was the same thing. Brady Bunch, all of those. So,
By the way, that cast was so happy when it didn't get renewed because they were tired of the makeup, like sitting in the makeup chair. They're like, "Oh, thank God."
So what's next? Like Trapper John MD or Quincy?
Quincy,
reboots?
Mannix. Let's get all those back.
Where's that MASH reboot? We need that right now, but set in Iraq.
the kids now be like, there was a Korean War.
What? Yeah, really. There was a World War II.
Jesus Christ.
How did they know to
Jack.
call it World War One? How did they know there'd be a two?
You just came in throwing freaking haymakers today with the news.
Throwing
Yeah.
gas, baby.
It's son of a
Mike
bitch.
Tyson does today.
Randy Johnson hitting birds, baby.
Shrapnel
that's it.
everywhere.
This show is officially going rom-com. We are done with this genre.
Yeah.
Genre can wipe my ass.
That is enough bloodshed for one segment. Let's get to what we watched this week.
Thank you.
We have such sights to show you.
I really was laughing how hard at what Jason. I'm like, boy, this is a dumb idea. Jason's gonna blow a freaking gasket when he hears this.
My God.
Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, Hunter.
Hey, Mo. All right. By the way, I might as well piggyback this on everything we're talking about of senseless, useless remakes. My wife forced me to go to the movies and spend money on The Strangers Chapter 1.
Oh, you
I
saw
didn't
that?
I didn't know that was out.
Yeah, well, pretend it's not.
I
And
saw
I've
the
seen it, too.
reviews and said, nah.
So what I'd heard was this is supposed to be The Strangers before you saw them in the first movie when they terrorize Liv Tyler.
This is actually connected to that? I thought it was a totally new.
It's this. Well, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's the same 3 strangers: the baghead dude and the 2 girls. And
At this point, they're kind of casual acquaintances.
have an orgy. There's a beautiful redheaded girl. She's going to be an architect somewhere, or she's with her boyfriend.
Vandalay?
Art Vandalay.
Art
yeah.
Vandalay. So their car breaks down in like this podunk town. And of course, as soon as they walk in the diner, all eyes are on them and it's getting strange. There's weird people looking at them. And luckily, though, there's an Airbnb of a cabin over there. So, because his car won't be fixed till a day or 2 later. So they go to the Airbnb that looks almost exactly like the cabin in the first Strangers movie. And if you've ever seen The Strangers, you have seen the rest of this movie.
So it's a remake, basically.
It's, I guess, because now I found out that 3 of these were shot at the same time. So there's 2 more to assault us with.
And this movie bombed.
I mean, I think it was 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that was generous.
And there's 2 more. But you know what?
There's
With
2
streaming,
more.
they don't care. They'll just throw it to streaming.
Yeah.
Hunter, why do you think it got such a bad score? Because of the lack of originality, or is the acting and stuff suck, or what?
The acting wasn't too bad. I think there's the complete lack of originality is definitely like
It's the same story.
The Strangers 2
They even get the same.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the same people.
Setup it there.
But you gotta go-
the setup there.
You got to go backwards because in the second one, they're not around anymore. The second one has iconic scenes. Like I never hear Total Eclipse of the Heart without thinking of the pool.
Yeah.
Like, there's
It's a
some
good
stuff
movie.
in that movie that was beyond excellent. This is just why? What was the point of this? But now maybe I'm thinking it was to make 3, and this is like
Name recognition.
that. Well, there were like 7 of us in the movie theater, so it was pretty packed for like.
What if young Dexter
God.
met the strangers?
Yeah,
Oh my god! I feel like I'm just gonna be ranting all night. Meanwhile, the one series we all want to see another movie of, Friday the 13th, we can't get.
We
The
can't get
Strangers,
anything.
we got 3 more coming. Sweet.
Another.
We're gonna have 5 strangers soon.
God.
Both the other 2 are coming out next year. So
Couple
And
more
here-
exes just coming too.
here's how they really don't care. The main girl in this movie, they talk about her, an interview with her about what was it like to make 3 of these at the same time. Like, well, I guess she survives.
Oh god.
It was not good. I was so happy when I had to pee. Like I was so happy to just get up. That's just Jason fapping.
Yeah, I'm so excited about all this.
You can't control yourself tonight. Yeah, so Strangers Chapter 1. I mean, if I'm not gonna say if you have nothing else to do. I don't know. If you're trapped under something heavy and this is all that comes on the television, you can't change it. There you go.
All right. Well, I'm glad I took a pass on this one. Jason, what you
Smart.
got?
I watched. I don't remember which one. Was it you, Hunter, who watched 3 Body Problem?
No.
Did one of you watch 3 Body Problem? Oh, all right. Well, I watched 3 Body Problem, the show on Netflix, by the guys who did Game of Thrones, Benioff and Weiss.
Oh, it's those guys?
Yes, which normally would really frighten me, but I saw they're adapting a book series again. Now, I actually didn't know that they had done this until after the first episode, and I was like, oh, shit. Oh, these guys. But this is really freaking good. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's very fast, the storytelling, but it's got a grand scale, so I'm really pumped to see where it goes. I don't want to give any spoilers about what it is, but there's a lot of math at the beginning and physics, and then
Ooh, jeez.
it's really cool. My only question is the series of books this is based off of. Please tell me it's finished, and these yokels aren't going to have to tell their own stories towards the end, because I will be I'll just quit now, to be honest. I won't go through seasons of expecting a really cool ending, and then these guys have to do something. So it's a good series. It's only 8 episodes, and a lot happens in 8 episodes. So it is absolutely worth checking out. It's pretty cool.
Wait, you said this is on Netflix?
Yeah.
You went back?
No.
Just hang out in Dave's trailer.
No.
Move over,
No.
Dave.
They don't have all the password sharing yet. No, I've been watching this over weeks. It took me a long time, so it wasn't like I was just sitting and grinding through it. But yeah, worth checking out.
3 Body Problem, it's called?
3 Body Problem. Yeah,
Sounds cool.
it is. You'll like it in particular.
All right, Lutski, what do you got?
I watched a Netflix miniseries called that I think somebody on here has talked about, called The Watcher.
Yeah.
I watched that. We watched that.
Came out a few years ago. I just finally got, pardon me, I got around to watching it. Family move into their dream home, start receiving disturbing letters in the mail from someone who's clearly obsessed with the house and the occupants. In the meantime, we meet some neighbors. Every one of the people in this neighborhood are out of their minds for different reasons. And before you know it, you've got this exceedingly long list of suspects as to who is terrorizing them with this letters. And then other things happen, like a ferret ends up dead, and just bizarre stuff is happening. It's getting scarier and scarier for this family to live here. the first 4 or 5 episodes are really well written and keep you engaged. Then things slow down a little bit, and it feels like they don't want to throw out some of the other ideas they had in their first draft, so they cram them in and force them to work. For me, it started to convolute things as in the last maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Still good, still liked it, just a little bit less engaged. And I could tell after a while that we probably weren't going to get the closure that maybe we deserved. I still really enjoyed it. When I saw the trailer for this a few years ago, I was really upset because I keep a huge, Jason, you might do this, and I'm sure, Hunter, you do it, a huge file of story ideas with full summaries or links to news articles, random pictures taken out of context that could serve as the genesis for, either a short story or a book or a series of books. Some of these ideas I turn into books, some into short stories, and some into nothing at all. But one of the ideas I put in here with a link about maybe 7 years ago was the true story that this series is based on.
The Watcher House in Westfield, New Jersey.
I was like, oh, I'm totally going to write this. I didn't share the link with anybody. I didn't tell anybody about it because I hadn't heard about it, and I thought that nobody else maybe had heard about it. And I was like, oh, this is how a lot of books are written. Just stumble upon crap like this, and you just kind of make it your own. So
I did it right away.
You did it? That's what that is?
Well, I had to set it in Pennsylvania and change a lot of stuff around, but I had the idea.
The genesis for that.
Beat. But yeah,
it was
the Westfield House in Jersey.
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm glad I didn't do it. It was one of those ideas that was like, I will definitely.
I also did a John Doe like writing of it that I have volumes of behind me.
No, we know it's just drawings of penises.
Poem. But yeah, I was because I was enamored by the article. The letters were really creepy.
Yeah,
and I thought this will be really cool. So, yeah, never did it. Netflix.
By the way, that series seems like it just gets disjointed and stuff because it's by the American Horror Story people.
Oh God, that would explain.
That's why it just peters off into never.
Okay, yeah, they're not great writers.
Kim Kardashian's in the last episode.
Naked, all right.
I don't know that I've seen the cover of that book before, but I could tell Zach McCain did that cover. He's done a bunch of my covers.
You know what? That's a good question.
Nice.
It's 100%. I had a glance; I could tell right away.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, it's well worth watching, I think. So if you've still got Netflix, you can catch it over there. The Watcher.
All right.
Cool.
I watched a movie that is not a horror movie, but it is horror adjacent, especially because Francis Gallopy, who is the director, is going to be directing one of the new Evil Dead movies. It's called Last Stop in Yuma County. This has...
with Barbara Crampton and...
Richard Brake, Jim Cummings from Wolf of Snow Hollow, Gene Jones, who's the guy from No Country for Old Men who runs the gas station. He's also in that cult movie. Yeah, Alex Esso, who's like the mother in Dr. Sleep, who does Wendy Torrance. A bunch of other people. Sam Huntington from Detroit Rock City.
You got the girl from House of the Devil.
Here's the thing. This movie takes place at a gas station diner in Arizona heading into California. And Jim Cummings pull in to get gas, and the gas truck hasn't shown up yet, so he's got to wait in the diner till it comes. Barbara Crampton's got a nice role in this movie. And then these bank robbers, Richard Brake and another guy, come in. And, nobody knows that they're bank robbers, but they're still kind of casing the joint. And the tension starts to elevate as more people show up and it all unfolds. And so you're sitting in this diner, and as things are happening, the tension is building. And then what you think is the climax of this movie happens, and then it keeps going. and it's
Oh.
awesome. This
Extra
is
climax.
one of the best movies I've seen this year, if not the best one.
Oh,
I've seen.
nice.
If you like No Country for Old Men and Hell or High Water, this could be a great third movie to watch. In that it's like a lower budget, but so well written, so well acted. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I
That
really
trailer looks so good. I didn't know it was out now. So
Yeah, it's out, and I can't recommend it more enough. And I'm looking forward to this guy directing an Evil Dead movie because he did such a good job with this.
All right.
What's it called, Jack?
Last Stop in Yuma County.
What's this guy's name? Francis. How'd you say it?
I said Gallopy.
Gallopy? He must be a big horror fan because he's got Jim Cummings, Jocelyn Donahue, and Barbara Crampton in this. That's
yeah, he knows what he's doing.
quite a list. Nice. I've never even heard of this.
Good stuff.
Cool.
All right, Hunter, back to you.
Oh, well, I went back to the movie theater to see a movie that's part of a long chain of movies, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I saw this too, so I'll piggyback on you.
Okay, so the movie starts with the apes cremating Caesar's body, and then goes several hundred years into the future, and it's this one clan of apes, and they're living, and you could tell like this lush scenery underneath everything are like the crumbling structures of humanity's design, and there's this one group of apes. They're all they raise eagles and train eagles. Okay.
All right.
It's important to the story, but it was interesting. And then one day another clan of bad apes come and raid their village and literally just take just about everybody. So there's one ape. What was his name? Oh, Noah. Noah is left behind. Noah's like the eagle master's son, and he's going to find out where they took him. And along the way, he meets this pretty girl who they call Nova in the beginning, but that's not really her name. And they go on this quest to find where they've taken everybody, and then you find out that's just this perversion of everything that Caesar was telling them to do. I really enjoyed this while I watched it. When you think further back, you're like, oh, well, this I don't know about this part. But there were enough references to the original Planet of the Apes that got me excited. Some of the CGI is brilliant, and some of it is not. It's not like that last trilogy was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely jaw-dropping amazing. You're not getting that same craft work here, and you're not getting the same strong writing here. But damn, it's still a hell of a lot of fun.
Is
Like,
every single ape CGI?
Yeah, they are. Except the eyes are the actor's eyes this time around.
Huh.
So they said it wasn't the last time, so you're actually seeing their eyes. I knew that girl could not be like the others because she was obviously wearing a bra and she wore pants.
Her hair was perfect and her teeth were perfect.
Freaking gorgeous. So again, I enjoyed it. It's a perfect like summer fun kind of movie. It's not an embarrassment to the Planet of the Apes franchise, but I think we got so spoiled by those last three movies. It's just gonna always pale by comparison.
Yeah, it's the series. It doesn't come to mind a lot when I think of remakes that actually work, but these last, I guess now 4, like they did such a good job adapting these, and I mean it's such a different story from the old ones that it totally works. They didn't try to just remake it.
No,
I really liked the first 3. I'm looking forward to this too.
I liked the first 3, but I did not have the affection for them like I did the original because I'm not 10 years old.
Yeah,
when I'm watching these. So like I really like the first one with James Franco a lot. I thought that was really brilliant. And then the other 2, I saw them in the theater, enjoyed them, but never really felt the need to go back. But I'll see them here and there on TV a little bit and watch them.
Dude, I almost blew my penis out with blood flow when I saw apes riding horses with guns.
Yes.
That nearly finished my sex life forever.
My son has a really cool monochrome tattoo on his arm of I don't know if you guys know what monochrome is. Just like a no shading. Everything is just
Yeah.
one value, and it's a chimp holding some rifle. But it looks like, I don't know if it's from Planet of the Apes, but it looks really cool.
There is one of the
Nice.
old ones where he's holding the rifle up on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that though. This is I know what
Cool.
you're talking about.
The original three are better than this one. This one is a good popcorn movie that afterwards you're thinking about it. You're like, all right, so they're leaving this up. There's going to be like 5 or 6 more of these, they're saying. And I was like, oh my God. I don't know if we need that.
The CGI will get cheaper and be done quicker.
But it's worth watching, but like, I don't think it's like a main feature for us kind of thing. Like, watch it, enjoy it, and then, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, have an apey good time.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, a decent movie from Hollywood, I'm very happy with.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now.
It's
a big
decent
budget
Hollywood
movie that is decent is like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. For me, it's hard to F up Apes.
This is one I never think of these remakes, but they are, well, I call them remakes. I mean, they have the name.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's a franchise. Yeah.
they're fun. Yeah.
All right,
My turn?
Jason.
I read a book.
This is the
I've been
most
crushing.
amazing.
I know.
I can't believe this.
I read Come With Me by Ronald Malfi.
I think I have that.
Did I read this?
This
It's got a Ronald Malfi blurb.
might
sorry, Jason,
be
go on.
my favorite book I've read this year.
Nice.
I freaking loved this. It hooked me from like the first chapter. I mean, he really nails it. It's a guy talking to or writing to his wife after she has died and just talking about and that's basically how the narration is. It's him telling her like what he's doing or what he's done. And she gets killed suddenly in a mass shooting in a mall, and he's just obviously torn up over it. And while going through her stuff, he starts to find that she had a secret life that she kept from him. And as he follows the first thing he finds, he's like, what is this? Why was she at a hotel on a weekend that I was away in another state? And he thinks she's having an affair, and he starts going down this rabbit hole and discovering crazier and crazier shit that was going on with her life that he had absolutely no idea about. And I won't spoil more, but it is a phenomenal book.
He's the best horror writer of
loved
this
it.
generation.
He is so
I've been
good.
saying that for years.
This is this my favorite one of his books? This might be my favorite one of his books. It's phenomenal. If you haven't read Ronald Malfi, start with this one. Come With Me is freaking great. It won't surprise me if this is a movie down the line.
It will for me because I feel like we've got to do 6 monsters before we even get
Fair.
I think he has a series in development with Amazon. Not for that, but another book.
Yeah, I know which book you're talking about. The one that is in Alaska, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude's a phenomenal writer. This book is the shit. Go get it now and read it.
All right.
Very cool.
His dad took out the Irish Westies in real life. Guy's a badass. Undercover
Really?
cop. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Chad?
I'm tapped out.
All right. Well, let's see. Sunday was World Dracula Day. So
It was?
it was.
I should have
So?
bitched Shane.
I decided to watch a Dracula movie that I've been aware of my whole life, but I'd never watched. It's a little ditty from 1966 called Billy the Kid versus Dracula.
Oh, boy.
This is John Carradine as Count Dracula. John Carradine played Dracula a few times in the House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula. And I guess another movie, Nocturna. I looked that up. I never heard of that one. Billy the Kid. All right. So first of all, take a look at John Carradine here. I'm like, this guy looks like an emaciated magician.
Feed me.
His Dracula was big on like the fruit pie the magician costume.
Were his hands all gnarled in this one?
The print I saw on Tubi was so bad. It looked like mittens. The picture was so bad.
Oh, wow.
Basically, this is Dracula in the Old West, and he stumbles upon this very pretty girl who happens to be engaged to Billy the Kid, who is now reformed and running a ranch.
Of course.
And so Dracula's going after him, and basically there's this older couple who had been attacked by him, and they're like, every time he comes in, they're like, he's a vampire, he's a vampire. This is a famously bad movie, but I had to bring up, there's an amazing part. There's a lot of gunfighters and stuff in the Old West, so people shoot at Dracula and bullets don't hurt Dracula, right?
Right.
Well, there's a scene where they're shooting at him and the bullets don't work, so Billy the Kid throws a gun, hits Dracula in the head, and knocks him out.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Yes, that picture there, that's the thumbnail.
He's going as subtle as he can.
Wow.
So, like I said, I've just been aware of this movie forever, and then I was like, oh, World Dracula Day. I got up and I was like, I'm going to pop on a movie this morning with my coffee. And I'm like, I gotta pull the trigger on Billy the Kid. Get this one off the
I've
to-do
never
list.
seen it, and I wanted to. Was it on Tubi?
It's on Tubi. I think you might look on YouTube too, because you might find a better print of it and with no ads.
Yeah.
But if you want to, there are scenes, like there's a couple of like night scenes or day for night kind of things, and then eventually they're just walking around in the sunlight.
Who the hell cares?
Yeah, so I'd say so bad it's good kind of movie, but I don't know if the Steven Seagal crowd is up for this kind of thing. But
yeah, can they put up with this 60s Drek?
Yeah, apparently the guy who made this movie also made let me see, I put it down here. It was like I think it was Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter, and he made them both at the same time, and there was like double features of these.
Frankenstein's daughter would just be a normal girl.
I know.
Okay, why not?
So,
all right, it sounds amazing.
Happy World Dracula Day.
Celebrated by watching an old episode of The Munsters and laugh at Grandpa Al.
Is that everybody? Everybody done?
Dunsky.
Done. Let's get on to this feel-good movie.
Made feature time.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Okay, before we go any further, this movie is really best seen going in blind, nude, whatever you want to call it. So when we ring the first of all, everybody talking about it, be very careful with spoilers. We'll do a short.
Yeah, don't even say what the movie's about. Yeah.
People buy a coffee table, and it's not a good decision. That's the summation of this movie. So we'll go around and give our views. Then we'll do spoiler bell. But again, like if you haven't seen it and the point of this movie is to not see it coming. So
yeah, the spoiler happens so fast.
Yeah. So with that, The Coffee Table, Spanish movie, came out, been causing a buzz all over the place. It's upsetting, triggering, all these other words. Like Stephen King was saying, like his reaction to it was, you got to see this movie is like maybe the worst way to spend 90 minutes. Like, do you dare? Like the build up on this, unbelievable. So
you're right.
Chad, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't. But I'm curious to hear if you guys even liked it.
So
fading into
Johnny
the dark.
Recaps and I were chatting today, and he asked me what I thought everybody was going to think of this. And for you, I said, this seems right up Chad's alley, but you never know with him.
Yeah.
So that's my assessment of you. Hunter, I want to know what you think first.
I'll give it to you quick. When this movie was over, I stood up and I gave the finger to the TV. And I hope that you guys could feel my finger and my rage for making me watch this piece of shit. So there you go. There's my review.
All right.
Wow. Okay. Short but pointless.
Did you feel a finger yesterday?
No, thankfully, I
Feel
did
a
not.
bird being flipped?
I just always sort of feel that from you. So, and Jason,
I really could have done without watching this movie. My life would have been much happier had I not watched this. I do want to say this is expertly written and expertly directed. They ratchet the tension up the whole freaking time. It is so well made, and also fuck this movie.
There you go.
I will never watch this again. I will never recommend anyone watch this again. It took me a long time to watch it because I would pause. I was like, I just have to walk around the house. I don't want to sit here and keep watching this.
I can't even share your "it's so well made" sentiment. Like my finger was for every aspect of this movie.
Oh no, I thought this was so well made. Oh my god, I was very impressed with the filmmaking. But god damn, this is, God.
So I agree with Jason, and this is a very well made movie. And what Johnny Recaps and I were talking, I said to him, I would expect everybody probably thought that this was a well made movie, but it's a hard movie to say I liked it.
Oh yeah, I hated it. I hated watching this.
It's like saying I liked Martyrs.
I do like Martyrs. See, I could say I like Martyrs.
I 100% disagree with Hunter. I think this is a very good movie. I think that this movie, it goes taboo, it racks up the tension, and it plays with this whole idea of we got to get into it. I just thought it was great. I thought it was great filmmaking. So
let's take a really premise that'll shock people and then just make people react in ways that would never really happen on any planet or extra dimension. Sure.
I even think the camera work they did was phenomenal. I was noticing little things because it's mostly talking. Almost the entire movie is just talking or reactions. So I was noticing stuff that maybe normally with more action I wouldn't see. But like in conversations with the main character, when it was pointed at him, it was handheld a lot. And when the camera was pointing at whoever he was talking to, it was on a tripod. It was like steady and level, and his was more like just little things like that throughout. I was like, man. And the editing between him and other people just turned the screws on me. This whole freaking movie. I could not wait for this to be over. Legitimately could not wait for this to be over.
We agree on that.
So, in my predictions about how people would feel, I said, Hunter's either going to love this or hate this.
There you go.
And I said,
you hedged your bets.
I said, Jason
still won.
Is most likely to nitpick it. And the reason I said that was because I thought of you with Where Evil Lurks.
When
Evil Lurks. Yeah. And how I think you pretty much like that movie, but the guy being stupid really pisses you off.
Yeah.
Like little things like that. I said, I feel like he could come in with the same kind of thoughts.
Well, that's what took me out of this movie too. I don't care about the shocking thing. Fuck that. That's a big deal. It's horror. It's
Jason, you had a real kind of a similar visceral reaction to Speak No Evil. Where's this with that?
This is way harder to watch.
Yeah.
This was a hard watch for me. Like this just hit me like on a visceral level. Like I really, really wanted this movie to be over with. Legitimately, I paused it like 3 times and I was like, God damn it. I don't want to watch this.
This is like the hardest subject matter.
I kept just going, how much is left of this? Like, that's why I kept pausing. Oh, geez.
Me too. I kept pausing and I'm like, 40 minutes. Shit. God.
Yeah, just so listeners know, and I'm going to bail as soon as you ring that bell, but just so listeners know, I didn't watch it because this is what I had heard. And normally this is like the movies that I seek out or this kind of stuff. But having been as sick as I've been for 2 weeks, This is the last kind of thing that I want to see.
Uh.
I have overdosed on some of the dumbest comedies that I would never ever have watched otherwise, because that's all I've been able to consume. So that's why I didn't want to be in that kind of a headspace. Normally I can handle it and I seek this stuff out, but something told me, nah, not right now.
Get back on the wagon for next week, Chad. Come on, let's go.
I hope so. But have a great night, guys.
All right, thanks.
See you
See you
later,
next
buddy.
week.
Feel better.
Better.
It all started with a furniture salesman who looked like a tiny fat Ron Jeremy. Speaking in
Okay,
Spanish.
folks, that was your warning. So this movie is about a couple, a little bit older, first child. Clearly, some stress going on between them. They've just had their baby and their furniture
Because they're not
shopping.
married. They're living in sin.
Oh, are they? I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, I thought they were married. Okay.
No.
They are shopping for a coffee table, and the husband is basically resentful that the wife has made all the decisions, and he's like, "Look, you've made every decision since this is my decision. I want this ugly coffee table." And the sleazy salesman is like, "Oh, it's a great coffee table. It's going to be the best decision of your life. It's unbreakable glass."
It will make your life so much better. It will improve everything. So his sales pitch was actually
It's hilarious.
They go home. They try and put it together. He tries to put it together. It's missing a screw, so it's wobbly. So he calls the salesman. Is like, "Bring me a screw, damn it." The wife goes shopping.
So stupid.
He's trying to put the baby to sleep or whatever. Goes in the other room, and off camera, we hear a crash. And he has
Fumbled.
the baby. And now, like King, was it? Who's the king in the Bible? Now there's two babies.
Yeah. The wisdom of Solomon.
It was Solomon. King Solomon.
With the unbreakable glass that shattered in a million pieces, like
Yeah.
within 10 minutes of getting it out of the box.
And then this guy basically goes into shock and starts to clean up, put the baby in the bed, and hides it from his wife when she gets home and everybody else. And then guests, his brother and young girlfriend, come over, and the whole time, this baby's in the other room, and part of it in the living room.
Well, naturally. You pick up everything else, but you can't touch the head. Which
And
telegraphs how it's going to end.
this is where, and I appreciate the subject matter is hard to watch. It was for me too. But the thing that made me like this movie is the anticipation of like, where the hell is this going? And
It was brutal.
Every time he did something else, you're like, what are you doing? Dear God. And it made me think of silly situations in my life where I'm like, you ever like, you're going to the bathroom and the phone rings and it's something that you have to take, and now you're on the phone, but your pants are down and you're talking to somebody on the phone, but all you can think about is the fact that so your mind is not on the conversation you're having, like just things like that. I'm like, this takes that to 1,000.
Okay.
I'm just trying to say, like you're trying to do everything with some other thing on your mind, and that's just like I said, it's comedic.
Did you ever talk to someone on the phone while you're going to the bathroom? It's kind of like when this dude severs his baby's head.
Same thing.
Maybe if he wasn't talking smack about the mom to the baby, this would never have happened.
There you go.
Oh my God, this freaking movie, man. Oh, as soon as the mom left and he started walking with the baby, the camera starts doing a real slow, it's like a dolly towards the door that he's walking. And as soon as that started, I was like, oh shit. I didn't know what this is about. I thought from the beginning, I thought it was going to be about a haunted coffee table or something.
Me too.
But as soon as that started, I was like, oh shit, something's going to happen to this baby. Did not expect any of that. And what got me the most was the anticipation of, first of all, the baby dying it's insane. Like, even the way they shot it, it is so horrific. But then they immediately cut to the wife in the wine store, the grocery store, whatever, talking to another woman about how much she loves being a mother. And that cutting back and forth from him, like, freaking out to this happening to her talking about her relationship, it was like, it really messed me up. Like, it really, really messed me up the way they edited that. I was like, oh my God, man. And I just never recovered. And everything he did to try to push back having to tell her just made it, like, worse for me. Oh my God. This movie.
Johnny Recaps says, do any of you think Jesus might have actually been inappropriate with Ruth, the young neighbor?
No. I never got that.
I didn't think so either.
I think a girl was just a psycho little girl.
Yeah.
But the moment I knew the head was under the chair, I said, she's got to get back in there because only the dog is going to be able to find that head before.
See, I didn't even think about the dog, but obviously the head was going to be what brings everything to a head. But that gave me more anxiety because I was like, there is a fucking baby's head under that chair. Who is going to find it? What is oh, Christ. But I do want to add this before I forget. The writing before all this happens is absolutely hilarious comedic writing with the sales guy. And when he's trying to put it together at the table together at the house and she's shitting on him and he's shitting on her. And he's like, no, I'd like for it to be another 10 years before I make another decision. Like all those things were really well written. And I was actually laughing. And that made the accident so much worse because I was like, this movie's hilarious. Like, I'm digging this. It's like a horror comedy. No, it's not.
The darkest black comedy ever.
Oh,
although that was funny when they're cutting up vegetables and she's laughing till it looks like she's going to pee her pants about his stupid coffee table.
Just shitting on him. Like, oh.
Thanking him for buying the coffee table because it's giving her the most laughter and she can't remember how long.
When the salesman comes back and it's just talking to him and he's like, I'm lonely. I have no friends. Maybe we
What's
can
up?
hang out.
He wanted to bang him. That wasn't just friendship. What is going on Jason's side? Is
Aaron's doing another covert operation to try to feed the dog. Just her head is through the door.
We've got a lurker.
She's trying to coax the deaf dog who doesn't know she's there out of the bed. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, there the dog goes, I think. Maybe not.
Yep, we have success. Sorry, go ahead.
Your dog is deaf?
Yeah, she's 14 and a half. She's old.
Oh, I have a deaf cat. We should get them together, Nick, and you go.
Sorry. I didn't interrupt. Sorry.
No, that was funny. And he did not talk about this movie. Thank you, Jason.
As far as like recommending this movie to other people to watch, there's only a handful of people that
Lutsky. That's it.
Someone I don't like people I don't like, I'll tell them to watch this. People who never saw horror movies, who I don't like.
No, I would just prefer any horror, like serious horror movie fan. I would just be like, if you want something really intense, watch this. But if you're triggered easily, because your personal experience in real life will affect your watching of this movie, and
if you ever had an issue with a baby, do not watch this movie.
Yeah, so it's definitely great date movie.
Thank God I didn't watch this with my wife. We kind of ran out of time, so I was like, I had to watch it today in my office. And as soon as that scene happened, I was like, thank God I didn't watch this with her. She would have been really upset.
My wife was like, why would anyone make this? I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
To shock people.
Yeah. You can shock me, but then after the shock, have something that bears some basis in reality, not the circus show that went on afterwards.
None of that bothered me. That dude was so messed up. He wasn't thinking right. Obviously, yeah. None of that bothered me.
Yeah, all that worked for me. I thought, for a horror movie, it's going to put me in an uncomfortable place. It had a lot of suspension tension. The most uncomfortable, horrific thing that could happen to you. So, like I said, for me, it worked. But again, I'm not going to pop in the director's cut tomorrow. And
just as a dad, I can't picture anybody short of a crackhead having that reaction. Like if you're on fentanyl, crack, some heavy duty drugs, maybe that's where you're going to go. But as a dad who loves a child, no freaking way.
Man, people.
That's the thing. I don't care about the baby dying, all that shit. That doesn't trigger me. It was the reaction afterward. I was like, this is just the dumbest movie. This is whoever wrote this probably never had a kid.
Like I said, the worst part for me was cutting to her talking about how hard it was to get pregnant and everything they went through. Like that cutting back and forth, that's what got me the worst. Honestly, the very end, when the head is discovered, they played music over that instead of hearing the screams. And honestly, thank God for that. I think if I had to sit here and listen to that mom scream, it would just been like,
I thought they handled the last 10 minutes of that really well.
I was dreading it, and it wasn't as bad as my mind had projected it to be.
They could have played like Sydney Sweeney's scream from Immaculate.
That's kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah, really, this is the year of parenthood.
Yeah. The year of unplanned ending of parenthood. It's terrible. Yeah, really, what is going on? This is our third movie we've seen with this kind of crap.
Yeah, we bitched about Hollywood being so awful right now. The horror scene the last 2 months has been really good. Like this year has turned it around.
Yeah, but we know what the future is, and it's not looking good.
Yeah, what's coming down the pike might not be great, but
yeah, enjoy it while you can.
Oh my God. Nobody should watch this. I'm just going to be honest right now. I recommend no one whose name is not Lutsky to watch this movie.
Yeah,
I can't wait till he finally watches it.
Oh,
I can't believe he didn't watch it.
He'll probably like it.
This blows my mind. You get no horror creds. You don't get an extra punch on your horror card for watching this. Just so you know.
I disagree. I think if you got any backbone, you're a real horror guy, you could handle this. But if you know,
delicate. Talk about people value their time.
Nah, if you're a film fan, check this out.
I'm a huge film fan. I say fuck this movie.
I say if you're ever going to watch this movie, watch it sitting on a couch next to Michael Clark, who we know Mike would love every minute of this movie.
This would be his favorite for sure.
I would watch it again if I could watch it with Mike. For sure. I have a ball.
Oh, God.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this ever again until it's on Lutsky's list as his favorite movie of the year.
Oh, for sure. And he'll also ask again, so I can't include anything from Tubi? That's not 87.
Yeah.
No. It's going to be this year.
Oh, God damn it.
The 1977 Roger Corman movie.
Oh.
All righty.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
All right, that's enough. We'll unveil our plans for next week.
I mean, we're doing it, right?
Are we doing it?
I checked. It's not going to be anywhere around me.
Oh, what? Really?
Let's give it a couple of days. We'll reveal our
theater multiplex by me.
Let's give it a couple of days. We'll reveal our choice when we're positive we can all do it.
Yeah.
All right. Damn. I would have thought that'd be all right.
We're going to watch an erotic version of The Munsters. So everybody tune in to
Munsters.
Your favorite porn page.
All right. Until then, smash that like button and share.
And really hold tight to your babies.
Oh, Butterfingers.